I had one person who had like 10 amalgam fillings in their mouth, which had mercury in them. And she had them for so long but her mercury levels were high in her blood. And it was causing inflammation all over the body. And typically a lot of metals will mimic a lot of hormones and get into those glands, like the thyroid, even the pancreas. So I tell people to look at things like that as well too, okay? But having a well-balanced diet, eating a lot of things like berries, eating a lot of green leafy vegetables is gonna be very important, because you wanna keep the burden or the workload on the body at a minimum. And eating those things are gonna keep it at a minimal, because they're very easy to digest.
Makes sense.
Makes perfect sense.
I think this is a really good. What, you had something?
Yali just came in.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good question right here. This is from Yali. She says, "What do you recommend to keeping the joints healthy and avoiding arthritis? I'm a designer and I work with my hands daily, and I fear developing arthritis." Yali, I second this. I'm not a designer, but I use my phone. I can feel like this weird tingly feeling anytime I pick up my cell phone. Yep. And then when I'm scrolling, sometimes when I'm just holding my phone, I feel like it's like my joints get locked up or something.
Yeah. Well, that's a separate issue. I want to come back to that, because that's important. But again, the joints need lubrication. Okay? Even in the vertebrae of your back, between those vertebrae are going to be these little discs. And those discs are filled with synovial fluid, which is essentially water. And whenever you become dehydrated, those little discs between the bones get thinner. So when you move and the bones collapse, they collapse onto each other instead of collapsing and it having a shock absorber with that synovial fluid. So hydration is very important. Staying away from ultra processed foods, because a lot of those chemicals travel through the blood and end up in the joints. So that's very important. But also movement. Like, I think we don't get enough movement in, so having range of motion and flexibility is going to be very important as well too. So incorporating things like yoga as a practice, because we all can continue to work out as we get older, but there are going to be some things that we can't do, but we can always do yoga. So that's going to be important. And you're mentioning EMF, which is a huge issue. The EMF radiation that is coming from phones, that is coming from cell phones, computers, this TV screen, you name it, nobody understands what the implications of that is, because essentially we've only been exposed to these type of devices for the last 24 years. So we don't know the implications of what it looks like daily use of multiple devices, including, wireless internet. Like, I got a phone, you got a phone, he has a phone, and there's a satellite above the earth that is literally beaming down specifically to your phone, where somebody just texted me, and they probably text me from California, but it specifically came right here. We don't understand how intricate that system is to be able to do that. And so I think it's very important to make sure we monitor how much we're using these type of devices, because not only is it hurting us from the standpoint of electromagnetic frequency, but also our posture.
Yeah.
When we're holding a phone, our neck is crooked down, bent over. Look at this hand position for a phone. Does that look healthy?
My hands be cramped up.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like being a little bit more cognizant about how we use our devices is very important as well too.
Oh my gosh. So much to worry about.
And then you didn't even talk about the headphones.
Yeah.
The headphones, 'cause I know my music is way too loud on my headphones.
First of all, it's that is another issue here. So that was actually the last super chat that we had here, coming in from the family. What you gonna do?
Go ahead. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's
do it. She made it.
Shanice, you got lucky. All right, you're the last one. You the for real last one this time. What up, Shanice? How you living?
Hi, how are you guys?
We good.
We blessed.
So my question is, of course, for Dr. Bobby Price. Hello. Matter of fact, I'm on your team, your
Hey, good
detox.
stuff.
Oh,
There
okay. I
you
didn't know what that. I
go.
was like, oh, you got some cognac over
Well, I know
there?
that. You better not be showing us no damn Hennessy. That's the detox family.
Right.
No, detox. I'm on the 14-day detox. But
I
my
love it.
question is, so
What's your age and location?
I'm sorry. My name is Shanice. I live in Arizona and I'm 43.
There
Gotcha.
you
Okay,
go.
nice.
And so I have hemoglobin C and Gilbert syndrome or Gilbert's disease, whichever one you want to call it. And of course, as you know, that there's no cure for it. So my question is, what can I do? Because I've noticed as I'm getting older, I have jaundice like in my eyes a lot more, not necessarily on my skin,
Yep.
but around my eyes. And I've been vegan for about 4 weeks.
Okay.
And like I said, I'm on your 14-day detox tea. I drink milk thistle. I don't know what else to do.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
Well,
it's recommendations.
well, you're on the detox, so that's a great start
Mhm.
because part of what my detox does is sort of open up the elimination channels, and by way of the elimination organs, and one of them being the liver. And
Mhm.
whenever you get jaundice, it's a combination of the liver and the gallbladder. Okay. And so being able to open up those elimination channels is going to help you with that for the first part. The
Okay.
other the other thing that I think is really important is overall lifestyle. So making sure, I heard you mention that you've been vegan for 4 weeks, but making sure, like I mentioned before, it's not junk food vegan, it's plant-based vegan. That's huge because a lot of people don't make that discernment between the two, and they end up eating a whole bunch of food products like they were eating beforehand, and it's really no different. Okay, so making sure that you're eating plants, all right, eating real food. That's the most important thing. The other thing that I think is really important is to incorporate what I would call breathing exercises. And I know you're thinking to yourself, what does breathing exercises have to do with this, right? But also, what I think is very important is for tone in the organs. So what people don't understand, let me get a little closer. What people don't understand about breathing is life. I can be here with you and then pull my breath out of me and I'm done. No life. And most people, when they're breathing, they breathe shallow. Okay? Now, in your body, you have what's called the diaphragm. It goes across right here. All right? Whenever I breathe in deeply, it flattens out. Okay? All right? That flattening out pushes down on the organs, opens up the chest to get more breath in. Okay? Doing breathing exercises every day, now you're getting tone in this area, which means that you're getting blood flow in this area, which also means that you're stimulating the parasympathetic system. The parasympathetic system is good for a couple of things: digestion, okay, immunity, respiration, and elimination. All right? Now, when you're stressed, you're stuck in sympathetic. It shuts down all three of those. So that's why breathing is so important because, again, most people have poor posture. Most people don't take deep breaths. Literally, when I work with somebody and I have them do this breathing exercise that I do, a lot of people feel lightheaded just by breathing properly because they're not used to getting that amount of oxygen in the body. So I think that's really important as well. But I would say stick with what you're doing. What day are you on the detox?
7. I'm on
7.
the 7th day. So
Okay.
haven't made it through the 14 days yet. It's rough. This stuff is
Okay.
nasty, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
I always tell people it tastes like results.
I'll
You
eat
gotta
that.
earn it.
I will eat that.
So yeah, just stay with what you're doing and those things that I recommended. I know they sound simple, but I think what happens with a lot of people is they overcomplicate things and they're taking like 30 different supplements and none of it works. And it's because they didn't stick with the foundations of everything, which is health.
So I have a follow-up question because you mentioned gallbladder, but I had my gallbladder removed like 12 years ago. Does that matter?
Yeah, see, and that for a lot of people is what complicates moving bowel. Because your gallbladder is where the bile is typically stored. And unfortunately in America, if you go to a surgeon, they're going to do surgery. And the gallbladder is the #1 elective surgery in America.
Really?
It's the #1.
I did not know that.
Yeah, #1. Out of all surgery, it's the #1 elective surgery. They take it out as if it's an extra tire on the car.
So should you, if they recommend that, should you?
Well, you got to eat different now. So you got to be more cognizant of the type of fats that you eat. You literally have, like, staying away from oils is going to be very important.
Okay.
Because again, bile is there to emulsify, to break down fats. And oils are pure fat. There's nothing else in it. It's just pure fat. So you got to be careful about the oils that you consume. That's going to be really important. So I wouldn't consume very much oil at all. To get my healthy fats, I would be eating nuts, seeds, avocados, things of that nature. Because your body is not, the gallbladder not only stores the bile, but it concentrates the bile. So now your liver is doing the work that typically the liver and the gallbladder would do together.